Well, I'm so excited to be. My name's Ron Gerber. As you can see by the creative name that I came up with for the seminar, calling it Gerberama. You know, many of you, I see some familiar faces, know our Angelbeat seminars that are focused on IT security and cloud computing. So one of the things that people constantly ask me about was, gee, Ron, you know, you're a smart techie guy. What do you do in your house? What's going on with your home technology? And as people ask me more and more about these questions, I realize that this is a new opportunity for Angelbeat and my company to help organize seminars that deal with this rapidly changing world of home automation, the interconnected home, all those key things. I just want to give you a little bit of my background, share with you more detail about the vision. I'll share with you some of my own personal technology, how we use this. And that was really the catalyst when people used to visit my house and they say, gee, Ron, how'd you do that? And you know, I don't want to be a tech expert, though we all have to be that in the future. So again, you know, my background, you know, I'm a techie guy, a business guy, and we've probably done close to 1,000 Angelbeat seminars dealing with security and cloud computing for IT professionals at major banks, corporations, universities, et cetera. You know, that's really our background. And one of the things that I wanted to do was how do I leverage some of those contacts, some of those insights around this rapidly changing world. But there is a concern in the area of consumer training with all of the e-commerce growth and some of the difficulties faced by so many retailers. You just can't get that much good training. You can't get that many insights into what's happening in the world of technology. Maybe you get some at the Apple store, some at the Microsoft store, some at the Best Buy, some at PC Richards and B&H and whatnot. But how do you get a nice, concise forum for helping educate you about those issues? That was my idea behind Gerberama. This is our first time doing it. I really appreciate all of you coming here today, and hopefully you'll get a good sense of what's out there, how do you take advantage of this technology, how do you do it in a safe and cost-effective way, and that's, if we accomplish that goal today, I will feel very happy. And I think in the end, what all of us need to appreciate is that each of us has to become their own CIO of their house, the Chief Information Officer of their house. You just can't rely upon your 11-year-old kid who knows more about smartphones and more about apps to take care of this technology. All of us have to embrace it. You know, I talk to some of my friends who say, you know, I spend, I don't know, 8 hours a week coaching my kids. I spend 7 hours reviewing their written homework. But what they don't do is spend any time monitoring their kids' text messaging, their online activities. They say, oh, I'm not comfortable in that. The point is, all of us need to embrace technology. It's happening whether or not we want to accept it or not. And this forum is really designed for your own personal and family activities to help you understand how to deal with that. I've got some screenshots here that show you exactly how my home works. And these are all real time. We use Control4. It's a technology, a home automation platform that one of our speakers, Cloud9, advocates. And as you can see here, as you look over here, and I'll just point a laser so you can see it, you know, this is the same kind of user interface that you can get on a smartphone, on a tablet, on a computer. I'm connected to the internet, so I could really freak out my kids. I could turn on the TV from here. I could pull up some cameras. I could turn the volume up. I'm scared about giving my son this activity because maybe he can do the same for me and wake me up if he's late at night. So we've got all this functionality, and one of the key design premises that I think the gentleman from Cloud9 is going to advocate is the value in having separate subsystems that operate independently with an overlay of a Control4, other applications such as Savant, AMX, Crestron, et cetera. That's a very effective design philosophy because what it does is it gives you the opportunity to control lots of different functions, but it also provides some segmentation, so if there's any difficulties in any one, they can still operate. That's why I still can use my old thermostats, even though I can use all of this technology to operate and control every zone in my house. So again, when you're going out there, you might want to say, gee, I'm going to keep my air conditioning off, but maybe an hour before I get home, I'll use my smartphone and turn it on. That's some of the great technology that you can get here. And again, this is not fake made up stuff. This is exactly the way I run my own home. We've got cameras, a lot of people are using this technology so you can watch what's going on. It's just ingrained into our lifestyles. Here we're going to hear from our colleagues Jake from Roku. There's so much going on now with the rapidly changing world of entertainment. If those of you who I'm sure watched the Olympics, probably most of you watched it on Channel 4, but I'm sure many of you just went to the NBC Olympic streaming site, which was an important complement to regular television viewing. Though if you speak to some of the folks at NBC, they think that streaming is going to be the predominant method of delivering content, if not in the 2018 Olympics, definitely in the 2020. So that's coming, and it's important to have technology like this that can work regardless of the source and regardless of how your entertainment is delivered. Again, the other big thing is streaming is not only for audio, for television, it's also for all your songs. We have all of this integrated within the Control for application, but all these different applications can still work simultaneously and independently if there's any problems, any one. Having said that, one of the key things where people ask me, like, what's the coolest thing in your home? I said, the coolest thing is our digital touchscreen home calendar. So for those of you who've got kids, how many of you have seen like the old chalkboards where everyone's writing each week what's going on? Then you erase it, etc. So what I did in our house is we've got, I run an Exchange server. We have all of my wife, my kids, all of their own emails. And in the mudroom, when we walk in, instead of a chalkboard that most people have, this is a picture I took of me and my kids, we have a pretty large touchscreen display with a webcam that is by default will only log in to the family calendar applications. So if you look at that in more detail, here's when you can walk by, right, as they walk in. And then the cool thing, this is the really cool thing, is that we have an application that can show everyone's calendar simultaneously. And then with the webcam application, the touchscreen, my daughter or son can leave a simple video message when they're going out, save it, and then they write a handwritten note with their finger. Then I know, okay, let me check the message. Maybe they didn't have enough time to write it down. I can play the video, and we know exactly what's going on. This was rated by all the people who come into my house as the coolest application, even though it's one of the simplest to do because you can use it with Microsoft, Google, any application. My company is a Microsoft shop, so we tend to rely upon just some of these built-in functionality. But it's a very easy application that provided a lot of functionality. When we look at some of our subject matter experts who really deal with this, one of the big things that people always ask me about is security. Have anyone heard some of the new things? Amazon's getting into the grocery business. There's going to be opportunities if you look at some of the new refrigerators where they can take pictures of your preferred items, and instead of just having, there are some of those Amazon push buttons where you can automatically order a dedicated product. Now people are saying, well, your refrigerator can know your preferences, and they will automatically order oranges, milk, juice, whatever the case may be. So it's a very exciting world. The challenge that people said, okay, Ron, so does that mean I need antivirus on my refrigerator, just like I need it on my computer? Bruce, with Intel Security, is uniquely positioned to address those kind of issues. Intel, probably like 3-4 years ago, bought McAfee, one of the leaders in security solutions for consumers and businesses, and now it's part of the Intel organization, hence the name change from McAfee to Intel Security. But this kind of concerns are very well founded, and all of you not only need to be what's called the CIO of your own personal household, the Chief Information Officer. I think Bruce would agree with this. All of you need to be the Chief Information Security Officer of yourself and your family to protect your identity, and be aware of, well, where do you store information? One of the interesting things that happened about 8-9 years ago is one unnamed corporation accessed or connected their copiers. They're better defined as multi-function devices because they do so much more, but they had a very sophisticated copier that was attached to their network instead of just a traditional printer. And the problem was hackers got access to sensitive corporate data because even though the organization had protected all of its computers and servers and other kinds of security solutions, they didn't protect the copier, which is also attached to the network. So that's a real-life example that may not have gotten as much visibility as some of the other more well-known breaches and attacks. But it's a very valid concern, and it came up in my thinking because, well, now I may protect my computers. You know, I've got antivirus for my Macs, for my tablets, for my iPads, for my PCs. But what about if my thermostat, you know, I got Nest thermostats, I got refrigerators connected to the internet, I've got my television connected, and if that's got my credit card information, how do I protect it? So those are some of the issues, and we wanted to put to rest people's concerns, maybe raise your concerns, but put to rest your fears that there are ways to take advantage of this technology without being scared about the risk of identity theft. Then we're going to bring up Jake from Roku. You know, as many people know, Roku's been in this world of streaming for many years. It's changing so rapidly. All of you have many questions. Well, if I cut the cord, can I still get my HBO? Do I keep my Time Warner cable? What are the implications? You know, if I want to get HBO Go, do I need a Roku account? Is it an HBO account? It is a Time Warner account. All of this is changing very rapidly. Hopefully all of you got a chance to appreciate and see firsthand the Roku technology in action. If you didn't get a chance to see it before the program, definitely at the end of the day, stop by and see them. So that's a very exciting, interesting technology. We're then going to bring up our colleagues from Sylvania. Lights are really changing incredibly fast. You've got all the LED revolution. You know, how do you go about saving energy on your energy consumption costs? And even more importantly, how do you use lights? You know, you go on the new high-tech airplanes. They change the lights, you know, to help simulate normal hours, so you're not completely out of sync when you go on a long 6, 8, 10-hour flight. I mean, the lighting world is so exciting now. If you had a chance to see their display, you would see the Sylvania integration with the Amazon technology, their virtual assistant. So you're seeing all this compatibility, and you've got these different subsystems. You've got the Amazon voice control. How does that interface not only with lighting, but with your home theater, with your home security? All these things are going on. And the point is that there's no simple answer to integrate all these things together. Many of the manufacturers are getting certified. You know, they might be certified to be part of the Google operating system or the Amazon operating system or Control4. But our final speaker is going to be from Cloud9, and I thought it was appropriate to have a leading integrator who works every day with technology around lighting, around home automation, around security to pull all this together, because it's highly unlikely, if not impossible, that for those of you who want to get the benefits of home automation, that you can simply call up your standard home security dealer, your electrical contractor. The complexities are incredibly high. The risks are incredibly high in terms of security, in terms of spending, in terms of system downtime. And we wanted to conclude this first Gerberama program with insights from Cloud9 on how you can tie everything together. So those are all our thoughts and ideas. I know we've got, Intel's got an antivirus, I think a full-year subscription, if I'm not mistaken, Bruce. You can also go speak to Jake and his team. They're going to give away a Roku player, so we've got some great gifts for everyone, as well as a special gift. And I think that at the end of the seminar, in another hour and a half, 100 minutes, hopefully all of you will feel not only excited about the promise of an interconnected home, all this home automation technology, but it's a little less scary. You've gotten away from the fluff, and you've got some real practical ideas on how do you make this work in reality. Sound good? All right.